Yo, the lies so that you never make it. Hopeless, so it seems. Eyes closed, hands open wide to embrace your dreams. Sometimes you gotta take a loss just to get the win. Like lots of sin was popping in like oxygen when boxes win. Focus on the mental, never lose like a smooth instrumental. Better choose on the move in a pinto. Choose what I get to, never lose, move on the move, but it's simple. Never give up and we winning it, maybe. We just keep winning, we conquering daily. Envision that pay me, it's never the sway me. Indigenous, maybe we winning, it's crazy. Your opportunity, your opportunity, your opportunity, this your opportunity, your opportunity, your opportunity, your opportunity, this your opportunity, your opportunity, your opportunity, your opportunity, this your opportunity, your opportunity, your opportunity, your opportunity.
Yeah, welcome one, welcome all. Ladies and gentlemen, it is the Lion Villain Report, and I am your host. It's your boy, Russell Wayne, up in the house. And we are broadcasting live into the Lions Villain Squad Facebook page with over 56,000 followers on there. Why have billions when you can have thousands? Now, we are broadcasting live into YouTube at Lions Villain Squad and at JC Sports Network. We are on the Facebook page of the Detroit Lions News Podcast with Joe Chapp and the boys. Make sure you go over there and give them a follow. We are the UDFA of sports podcasting. So like, share, and comment. You can really help out the page a lot just by liking, sharing, and commenting. And if you can hear me right now, make sure you give me a thumbs up in the comments right now to make sure that my sound's working all good while I'm here trying to pay the bills. We are brought to you by NFL Shop. And you can use the link that I'm about ready to throw into the comments, or you can use that QR code to save up to 30% off of your order. Thank you guys for letting me know about that. And that is our affiliate marketing partner right there. You can be guilty by association. Let's say that you own a business and you're listening to the words that are coming out of my mouth right now, and you want to partner with the Villain Squad. You want to find out about that? You give Main Event Mike a call at 810-620-2167, and you can find out how you can be guilty by association. Our STARS program. Let's talk about our STARS program a little bit right here. Our Facebook STARS program will go to support Riker Wayne's World, which is my son. He has special needs. He has a rare genetic disorder that is being studied by the University of Michigan. And my wife's Facebook page is documenting that journey for our family. And she is also a great resource for parents that have children with special needs. I'm sorry, I'm multitasking right now, putting that on there. So if you're commenting using STARS, thank you for helping support our journey with that. And most importantly, join the conversation, everybody. It ain't about me. It ain't about my stupid opinions right there. We want to know what you think out there. And knowing what you think out there, let's say hello to everybody. Dwayne Keene, Jared Goff. Jared Goff.
It's my quarterback.
Jared Goff.
It's my quarterback.
Jared Goff.
It's my quarterback.
That's right. Dwayne in the house. Single Dads Club said, hopefully we get an edge rusher today. We're definitely going to be talking about that today. Thank you for the comment. Jay Smooth up in the house. Good morning to all. Joseph, what's up, Joseph? I'm going to get that comment in there. Joseph is up in the house. John, what's going on, John? Good morning, John. And then Reno's up in the house. Good morning, Reno. Love it. Dwayne Keene up in the house. Yeah. Gotta love that stuff. Gotta love that stuff. And there we go. There is the Lions code that I put in there. You can have whatever one you're watching it on. You can use that code right there, and it helps our page right there. You can go to NFL Shop, or you go to our page. You're not gonna pay more or less. You'll have a better chance at paying less by using our code. They're our affiliate marketing partners. That makes me feel all important and stuff like that. What's up, Davey? Thank you for letting me know that my sound was on. Are you hearing my drops too? Are there drops coming through?
You like that?
You hearing Kirk Cousins?
You like that?
I'm wondering. You hearing any Kirk Cousins? I don't know. It's my birthday, 68. Happy birthday. Happy birthday, a Lions fan. Yes, I'm glad that we're hearing the backgrounds. Yes. Like a banger. It sounds great.
It doesn't matter how you're doing.
Oh, man. Well, it does, actually. It does matter how you're doing, because this is what's going on, Henry. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. I should say happy birthday. Should I do one like Christopher Walken? If Christopher Walken was here right now, if Christopher Walken was here, he'd say, John, it's your birthday today, and I wanted to sing happy birthday to you. So here it goes. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you, John. Happy birthday to you. From Christopher Walken, I wanted to say happy birthday to John. All right. You know, I love it when Christopher Walken can pop in and, you know, either give us some insight, but it is PFF Tuesday. And I wanted to take a look at some of the numbers from last week's game. This is the last chance that we are going to look backwards on a game, because tomorrow is the Hump Day preview, and we're going to be looking forward to this big matchup that we have for the NFC North, the 6-2 Green Bay Packers against the 6-1 Lions. And we're going to be looking at it. But before we do that, what I wanted to do was to say, rest in peace. Rest in peace to the fans who can dish it out but can't take it. Right there, to all of the Bear fans and to all of the Viking fans that came on to this program in the comments and gave all you guys such a hard time for so many weeks. Rest in peace to the ones that can dish it, but they can't take it. From the couch, they come in, they run their mouth. Now, does Russell Wayne go and run and hide after a loss? No. He comes and broadcasts 6 shows that on that week. And I'll tell you what, it's not fun to do those shows when you're doing this in 2021, let's say, or the beginning of 2022. But no, I showed up. But rest in peace to the one, and they can make the excuses. It's crickets. It's crickets. Just like, it's amazing, isn't it? And to think that they could turn around and like blame me. Like, I'm just doing my thing. I ain't changed one iota. I gave credit where credit was due for the teams. I'll give credit to Green Bay. I think that we're in the best division in football. I'll give credit to Green Bay. This is the best division in football. Green Bay's a good team. They're a good team with Malik Willis. They're a good team with Jordan Love. That's what good franchises do. They have the next guy ready. And honestly, who would you even rather face when it comes down to that? But we'll get in here. And, you know, I know that this isn't the most popular thing, but I do this every week, which is taking us through the PFF grades of the week and who were the best players on the team. Bears would suck with Tom Brady. It is. Russ, was yesterday morning show pre-recorded? It was not. No, we don't pre-record any of the shows. You guys being part of the recording between 10 and 11 o'clock is really cool. Because one of the things is that it isn't pre-recorded, but it is available all day. And we usually get between 5 and 10,000 people a day that watch the program. So that's why I really do appreciate the live audience, because I love having somebody to interact with, because this is going to be on the intro web, you know, for the next few. But it's all good. It's all good. But I wanted to go through. Good morning, Scott. I wanted to go through these PFF grades in here, and let's just kind of take a look at the offense first right here. Oh, wow. There's a surprise. Look, Jahmyr Gibbs had the highest offensive rating, and there's a lot of usual suspects coming through right there. I mean, the top 5 guys right there: Jahmyr Gibbs, Samuel Laporta, Brock Wright. Great tight end play. I like that. I like to see that. Frank Ragnow had another good game. He had a real good game in Minnesota too. And there's Khalif Raymond. I think Khalif Raymond is the hands down. There was so much of an overwhelming vote on yesterday's show, on both shows, for Khalif Raymond being the villain of the week. And I've already made the piece of content. It's going to come out a little bit later this week. And congratulations to Khalif Raymond. Good stuff. Good stuff. Hey, Fred, I missed Main Event Mike's show last night and ended up watching it about 8:30 last night. See, that's what I love about it. We're on here forever. I would love to have you guys on here, interacting and doing your thing, every day, as we're doing it live. I love being able to talk to you guys. I love being able to highlight your comments. And is Macho Man awake this morning? Let's see what Macho Man has to say. Yeah, I do requests too. Let me see if he's in here. Do I got him? Oh, there you go. Yeah. Oh, yeah, the Macho Man Randy Savage right here coming in the Detroit Lions on the Villain Report. Dig it? Yeah, the top 5 offensive players for the Detroit Lions. Yeah, Jameer Gibbs coming in 88.7. Yeah, that's real good. Yeah, that's like the Macho Man elbow coming through with the 70-yard dart. Right through the heart of the Tennessee Titans. Yeah, dig it. And then you get the tight ends, Sam Laporta and Brock Wright. Yeah, dig it, with the real good PFF scores. And don't forget about Frank the Tank. Frank the Tank is moving through. He's moving bodies out of the way. Dig it. Yeah. And then, villain of the week, Khalif Raymond running in touchdowns from the punt return. Yeah, the Macho Man's gonna give it to you the way that you need to be giving it to. Yeah, the Macho Man says, yeah, the Detroit Lions, Super Bowl pounds, dig it. Wow. He was pretty excited right there. Jameer Gibbs, Sam Laporta, Brock Wright, Frank Ragnow, Khalif Raymond. I'll even throw in David Montgomery right there. Those are your top 6. Those are your top 6 that graded at least 70 or higher. In pass blocking, looks like there you go. You were pretty good. Penei Sewell, Frank Ragnow. So that right side's looking pretty good. Right there. Awasika was out there for a couple plays. Even Taylor Decker, even though he got beat at the beginning, one of the things is like, don't overreact on some of those things, because, as you can see right there on that score, it's like what happens is when a guy beats you, it's not about the guy beating you because you're going to get beat. It's the NFL. Taylor Decker got beat twice. Like 2 times right in a row, and then he shut the rest of it down. And that score right there, it's not a great score on your pass blocking right there, 64.4, but that's like average right there. That's not bad. When you get into the 50s and the red, that's where, you don't ask Jameer Gibbs. Kevin Zeitler did not have a good game blocking, pass blocking, and Graham Glasgow had a hard time blocking, and that was pretty much the game. And then run blocking, Frank Ragnow, Dan Skipper with good games right there, but not really. They're not giving great grades here. So that's a testament to the running backs at that point. So, PFF tells you a story. It doesn't tell you all of the story. That's one thing that, I always put that little caveat on top whenever we're looking at some of these numbers. You can kind of isolate some stuff here and you're looking at it, but that tells you a lot of story right there. You see Jameer Gibbs and David Montgomery with high scores, but you didn't get the greatest run blocking. It looks like if you went off that right side, that's probably where the touchdown was scored. But they got good production out of the offense. Let's take a look at the defense here. Let's see what we got in there. Look at that. Now, and this was just something, this goes into the trade talks right here, because I did take a sneak peek at some of these numbers before we started today, because I wanted to, actually, I had some of them last night, but look at our top players. You got Levi. You got Kirby had a great game. getting a big interception in there. And then there's two defensive linemen getting good play out of the defensive linemen right there. Jack Campbell, Kendall Vildor, Muhammad, the defensive end they brought up. Really, really good score for 49 snaps. That's a really, really good game in an overall right there. Gave you a little bit in the pass rush for Muhammad having a good, and then DJ Reader. So our best defensive players were the defensive linemen. I mean, even going into, 68 is a very good grade for Isaiah Thomas getting 38 snaps. So according to PFF, the guys the Lions just bring up from the practice squad are playing okay. They're playing okay. So agreed, Joseph. I do like PFF, but it doesn't tell the whole story. It definitely doesn't tell the story. It tells a story. So what I challenge people to do when they're looking at these scores is remember, because if you actually watch the game, take what your eyes are telling you in the game and then line the scores up and let the scores justify what you saw with your eyes, and let the scores surprise you on guys that you would think were good or not good, right? But if you're looking at these scores, just in the overall scores, you got decent play out of the guys you brought up to soften the Hutchinson thing, really, because you're just going to play differently at that. So Isaiah Thomas had a good game. Let's see which ones didn't have such good games. Ennis Rakestraw, Alex Anzalone by PFF didn't have a very good game. Pat O'Connor didn't have a good game. Even Trevor Nowaski, he got an interception. They didn't grade him out very well in here. So Mekhi Wingo had an okay game according to that. But these real low ones right there, Ennis Rakestraw did not play good snaps. I think he fell down on one of them. Yeah. PFF says that Goff is the 25th best QB this season. Just saying. Yeah. Yeah, that's true. He's got it. It doesn't tell the whole story. It doesn't tell the whole story, but what it does do is a sack. Detroit fan, man. PFF is going to grade that Goff
It's my quarterback.
taking a sack is going to count negatively against his score. There's a lot of things that Goff does to protect the football that affects the score negatively. Yeah, let's look at Goff and see what Goff did this week. Jared Goff was right in the middle, 66.2. And I think that it just like I said, he took a couple sacks in the game, and that's all right. You can also look at this through, pressure and depth right here. You can look and isolate, where he was throwing the ball, and 0 to 10 yards. He's 6 for 6 right there. To the right side of the hash to Penei Sewell's side, he was 3 for 4 with a TD. But the thing is like his stats were really skewed this week, Detroit fan, man, a lot. Because for one, he took sacks. And that affects your score negatively when you're losing yards. And he didn't throw a lot of balls. They were doing things in other ways. And this breaks it down to, you know, what percentage of his dropbacks he was kept clean on 13 dropbacks. He was under pressure for 6 of the dropbacks, and under pressure. Let's look at these where you're looking at that. He took 4 sacks while he was under pressure. When he wasn't blitzed, he was 5 for 8. Actually, all 3 of his incompletions came while he wasn't blitzed. When you blitz him, forget about it. 7 for 7, baby. That's Goff.
It's my quarterback.
That's the real story of Goff. I don't give a shit what the scores are either. But this will tell you a more complete story if you just want to look at Goff. You have to look at the right stats. You can't just look at Goff's overall in PFF and have that tell you the story. You got to know what he's doing. You know, if he's getting kept clean, if he's under pressure, if he's getting blitzed, if he's not getting blitzed. So I like that part about. But on defense, a good part of this. Let's see who's playing the best run defense. Amik Robertson. Look at that, 92.3. That dude is a fumble machine. Amik Robertson. Look at that. 92.3 on the run defense. I think it's because he forced those fumbles. 2 forced fumbles. Yeah. Amik Robertson is a dog, dude. I love Amik Robertson. They said he's the chirpiest guy that's out there, and he's constantly working at punching the ball. So, Joseph, hey, I feel you guys. I mean, we don't have to, like, here's the box score, and here's what happens. And it's okay. You know, box score ain't the eyeball test, but if you take these different looks and you're looking at what the eyeball tells you, then you can line it up with what you're seeing right here, and you can get a story. You can get a story, and you can kind of see players getting better. You can almost predict. You can see trends where they're doing well. So we got some good run. I don't know if I cut out there for a second, but it looked like it on my side. But no, what we have here is we got some run defenders. You usually don't have that many that are grading in a 70. A 70 and above is a good score in run defense. And then even these guys that are in the 60s, those guys aren't playing bad. It's not like they had bad games. They just these are where you're called good games from the 70s and above. And then you get into more of the average stuff with 16 and below. But I'm back now, right? Am I back? 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 I'm on the attack. Am I back? Am I back? Yeah. Yes, I am back. That's what they say. All right, let's see what else we can look at in defense right here. We always have good tacklers. Look at all those good tacklers when I isolate it by tackling. That's what I'm doing here. This is just your defenders, right, on defense. This is specifically in order what the run defenders were, right? Now I'm going to categorize it by who were best tacklers, right? And all of these guys, 14 deep, we have tacklers. We have pretty good tacklers. According to PFF. that we tackled well. So if you saw good tackling in that game, the numbers of PFF are backing that up. You know, I love that we have good tackling. You know, that means you're fundamentally sound. Here's your pass rushers. Who's your best pass rusher? Brian Branch. Does that tell you we need? The PFF does not share methodology. Does it show missed tackles? Yes, it does. Who had the most missed? Brian Branch had 2 missed tackles. Pat O'Connor had 2 missed tackles. Terrion Arnold had 1. Ennis had 1. Jack Campbell had 1. Kirby Joseph had 1. Alex Anzalone had 1. You know, that's like that's a bunch of 1 misses. And yeah, but Pollard was running okay in the first, and they were, when they ran in the second half, I mean, they were helping us more than they were helping themselves. So if you're getting 5, 6, 7 yards in the second half when you're down 100, I'm not that concerned with that. But just not in the first quarter. It was mostly in the first quarter. It was mostly in the first quarter. You know what I loved about the way that the defense played, and the way that the defense has played all year, is they've given up yards in between the 20s. They've given up yards in between the 20s the entire season. All of the yards get in between the 20s. Now, where I love where the Lions are playing defense right here is when they get into the red zone. When they get into the red zone, you know, when Mason Rudolph was down in there, and I know that there is some concern because, oh wow, you let Mason Rudolph do that, and like, here's the thing: Mason Rudolph played his ass off in the first 2 quarters. He did. In the first, I would say the first half, Mason Rudolph played his ass off. He should have had 21 points, but the Lions, doing what the Lions do, in 5 plays, they have a goal line stand. And those are such, oh my gosh, the offense is in such an advantage when you got a goal line stand at the 1 yard line. And they didn't break. They didn't break. You know, when they get in there. And here's another thing too, is Kirby Joseph got his ass chewed off for what they were doing in the middle of that field. They were hitting those tight ends in those little soft zones over the linebacker under the safeties. And it's too easy. And I guarantee that's what Aaron Glenn was saying to Kirby Joseph. It says, hey, dude, on those soft zones, you can read that shit, okay? Close up them soft zones. And what happens on the very next play? Oh, wow, here's these little soft zone guys that are always open. I'm going to go to the well again. And Kirby says, nope, not this time. They adjusted, and then they ran out of tricks. The Lions adjusted to all their little things that they were doing, and then they ran out of tricks. So their offense got to our defense a half. I'll give it a half. But that it stopped really at the end of that 1 yard line. There was no more. And they stop you. They stop what you're doing. They figure out what you're doing. And now we have the secondary that Aaron Glenn can actually make an adjustment. And I love that. And I love that. And if you guys did see that the Brad Holmes, or not Brad Holmes, but Dan Campbell yesterday jumping up and down. Now, he did get on 97.1 today and tell them that, that we're wasting too much energy talking about these trades. But do you believe that? Do you believe that? Because we have to have something to talk about. This is like candy for a guy like me that is live here every day talking about football. Like this is like candy. You see stuff like this. I'm getting it queued up right now, and I'm gonna share it. Yeah, but when you see something like this, I wanna. I mean, here when asked about the trade, this
Fits.
24 hours, something that Brad's come to you with.
Yeah, could be.
What do you think of Muhammad yesterday?
No, seriously, though, has he come to you with something that you?
Yeah, could be.
Think of Muhammad yesterday.
Now, when I look at that, it's like he brushed that off. And how mean would Dan Campbell be? That's a straight troll. If they don't go out and get somebody now, that was him trolling guys like me who hang on every word that he says and try to think, what does he really mean with that? I do believe they're out there looking for trades. You got 1 week away from the trade deadline at 4 p.m. next Tuesday. They got to have these trades in by the league, or you got to wait. Or you got to wait till the offseason. So if you're going to go get help, you got to go get help now. You got a week. You got a week to get this deal done. And I do believe a lot of these deals are contingent upon like winning and losing. Right? I think they could get these partial handshake deals done weeks ago. Whatever deal for us and whatever deal we're going to get done, I believe it was done weeks ago. And it was like, hey, let's see what happens here. Let's see what the records are. And, we don't want to pay a salary. I mean, we don't want to give them another game check. We want to give them game checks that we don't think that we want to get. We want it to be as cheap as possible. That's all that's happening last second. The Lions knew they could win without getting an elite pass rusher to beat Tennessee. Nothing against Tennessee, but they weren't ready to play a team like us. Our team is complete from top to bottom. And the thing is no, you didn't get as many pressures, Jeremy. They didn't get as many pressures, and I'm sorry, I should go in there. Let's see. For the hurries, let's take a look at these things. I'm sorry, Jeremy. I know that you asked that, and I trailed off there for a second. But here I got this itemized in pressures here. And I apologize that for that, Jeremy. Muhammad had 6 pressures. Levi had 3. DJ Reader had 2. Brian Branch had 1. Campbell had 1. Aleem McNeil had 1. Isaiah Thomas had 1. Ben Neiman had 1. Pat O'Connor had 1. So they were sharing the wealth. They were sharing the wealth a little bit when it came to pressures. How many sacks? They only got 1 sack just a one from Anzalone, but they did get some QB hits. Levi had a big hit on him, landed on him. James Houston got a hit. And I already went through the missed tackles. Forced fumbles. Gotta like that. Amik Robertson forcing 2 fumbles. That dude is like, as soon as that dude will catch the ball, you catch a ball on Amik Robertson, that dude is in there like a boxer. While he's bringing you to the ground, he's like, get that ball out of his hand. I love that about Amik. I love that aggressive play style. What's up, Chuck? Muskegon posse in the house. You gotta like that. You gotta like that. So yeah, Jeremy, we were able to get some pressure. It's just different, right? So you're gonna get turnovers, or you're gonna get sacks, and you can get turnovers off sacks with sack fumbles and that nature, but they've changed the play style a little bit because I think that they believe in the secondary. That he did have some time to throw the ball, but then they threw the ball and they were throwing picks. That you're letting them, when you're up by 35-14 or whatever, as you're moving up, then when those guys are running plays and completing balls in the middle of the field and running their clock off, because they did give up some rush yards in the second half too. But a lot of that stuff was just kind of like, really, you're going to run the ball? I mean, that Tennessee offense gave up in the third quarter. I mean, there was no doubt. Once I think it was one stop. They had some zip and some vigor for like one series. And then the Lions stuck their foot on the throat, and there was no life after that. The Lions choked the life out of the Tennessee Titans. They didn't want to play anymore. The defense lasted a little bit longer for the Titans, but the offense gave up very early in the third quarter. He was done. They were just running play. They were catching the ball, but it wasn't like they were trying to do the moves after that. They were just catching. They were getting tackled by the first guy. They weren't trying as hard. In the first half, they're all making these crazy contested catch. Brian Branch gave up a couple big catches to Calvin Ridley, and he was right there. He was right there in the defense. At some, you have to give credit to the offensive player for making a play, right? The defense was there. They just made a good play. But you could tell that energy that Calvin Ridley had, like he was going to do something, that was gone. That was gone in the third quarter. They weren't trying that hard anymore. And then when they got to the end of the third quarter, you saw the defense tap out too. And then it's just like run plays. Let's do all these little plays. I'm going to kind of tackle you ahead of the sticks. You could tell that they weren't going to score anymore. So, no one here will be mad if we're smacking Green Bay in the mouth next week, like we've done. Something we'll get to next week. Let's see. Yeah, we said that at the beginning. Rest in peace to all the fans that used to be in this chat. Rest in peace to all the fans that are making excuses. Maybe even blaming me why they're not in here anymore. But the fact of the matter is, the reason they're not in here anymore is because they can dish it, but they can't take it. Say it with me. You can dish it, but you can't take it.
It doesn't matter how you're doing.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter how you're doing.
So rest in peace to those fans. I'm surprised that there's not any Green Bay in here either. Did we get a Steve sighting in here? Or is he running away scared? Is Steve running away scared? I didn't add Green Bay to that list right there because we got to play him here. No Bear fans. No Bear fans are showing up anymore. No, they don't want to deal with the smoke on the week. They may come back after they've, they need a couple days. They got to recover. They got to recover from the fact that their coach can't coach. Like that's like the most damning thing to their team too, to the Chicago Bears. It's like you can have all the talent in the world, but your team is going to be trash. Your team is going to be trash as long as Eberflus is coaching your team. You didn't lose because of a Hail Mary and they got lucky at the end. You lost because your coach is an idiot and you ran the ball to an offensive lineman with exactly 0 carries on the most important play of the game. That's why you lost the game. You should have won. You should have won that game by 2 touchdowns. Tyreek Stevenson not paying attention at the end, but you don't want to come in here and be accountable to that. That's what I'd say to you if you were here, but you don't want to hear it. You don't want to hear it. I mean, we're lucky enough to only have 1 loss this year, but I tell you what, after that loss, you know what I was doing? You know what I was doing? I was coming on here Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, eating my crow, getting ready for the game on Sunday, hoping that we win. So I don't have to go through 7 more days of that. That's how it works on here. When you win, I'm going to talk good about you. But when you lose, I gotta tell you. I got to tell you, when I look at the Minnesota Vikings, you guys are in trouble now. Your best player got injured, just like our best player got injured. But you don't have the depth to handle it. You don't have the depth to handle it, right as at the same time, Ben Johnson exposed your fraud defense and Sean McVay, being the savant that he is, he said, "Oh, Ben, thank you for the blueprint." And then he used Matt Stafford and they did the same thing. They used the blueprint. And now every team is going to use that blueprint. So Minnesota does something about it. And Christian Darrisaw is the type of player that is just the next man up. The way that the Lions are handling the Hutchinson thing is brilliant. They're spreading it across. They're not asking any one man to cover that production. When you look at where that production goes across there, look at all those different guys that are making an impact there. Look at all those different hurries from different guys. Hutchinson gets 14 hurries by himself, and usually a couple of the other guys get 1 or 2. You still got 17 hurries. You still got 17 hurries worth of pressure, but you just got it from all over different places. They might have found somebody in Muhammad. That's pretty good. Six hurries for a guy that just came out the practice squad. That's actually eye-popping to me. The fact that he led the team in hurries and doubled them up. If Hutchinson was getting a guy from the other side, that's as good as Davenport was doing. So if he can replace Davenport's production, that would be something else. And then maybe you do get somebody else in here, but they're spreading it apart. They're spreading it. You know, 3 to Onzarike, 2 for DJ Reader. And then you got, you know, Branch, Campbell, McNeil, Isaiah Thomas, Ben Neem. They're spreading it across. That's smart. That's smart because you're not asking everybody to do it. Yeah, and I do believe they're going to go out and get somebody. We're 1 week away from the trade deadline. I do believe they're going to make a move. Jeremy's sitting there right now, hitting his refresh button is on an automatic refresh because he don't want to miss it. He would love to break it on this show in the next 10 minutes. He would love to be the one to pop it in there. And I got it going on too, Jeremy. I want to see it happen. I want to know. I want to hear Lions trade for Trey Hendrickson. That's what I want to see in the news. Finalizing the trade. And but let's just be real with it. You know, everybody got excited yesterday. He backed it up. Says Dave Burkett asked me a question and I answered it. He couldn't take the answer, so I gave him the same answer, jumping up and down, wasting energy to interpret that. You're wasting energy. So maybe there isn't something imminent. Maybe he's just, maybe he's sick of all the rumors and he wants to stick all of us rumor guys into our place, which would suck. That would suck to me. Like you're playing with my emotions, Dan. Don't play with my emotions.
We're going to bite a kneecap off.
Dan, playing with my emotions. I want to think that there's somebody huge coming here. I want to think that they're going to make a move so big that it's going to completely energize the whole fan base right before Green Bay. That's what I want. Has that in him. I want to know that. I want to know he's cool, calm, and collective all the time. But if there was an opportunity and he had to spend to make something magical happen that would energize the entire fan base, that he would be the kind of guy that would do that. I mean, wouldn't that energize this fan base? Lions trade for Myles Garrett, Defensive Player of the Year. What the amount it would be. Would that not energize you? Lions trade for Trey Hendrickson. DJ Reader's got his own old running mate back. He had 17 sacks next to DJ Reader. And the Bengals are sitting at 3-5. Do they make a move? That's what I want to hear. I'm not wasting energy. Maybe it doesn't work out. Maybe we don't get a guy. I don't think it's wasted energy. I may be a little bit more disappointed than the average person if something doesn't happen. But it's not wasted energy to think about it. I would love to see them make a move that isn't just a right now move. Because one thing I'm starting to learn through draft picks, that the bulk of the draft picks that work have to be developed for a few years before you're going to get the max out of that player. So draft picks don't make me as excited as they once did, especially since even if we have a first round pick, it's looking like it's going to be in the late 20s, early 30s anyway. So when we say that we're at F them picks moment, this is the moment in time. We're here. F them picks. Go out and get a dog, Brad Holmes. This is your time to shine. This is your time to shine, Brad. Go all in. Let the fan base know that you're going all in. But go all in on something that gives us 3 years of this. Somebody that we can count on right off the bat, that when Hutchinson comes back, that next year we're still in this hunt, regardless of what happens this year. Make a trade that makes us think we can go back to back to back and that we dominate over the next 3 years. There's a couple players out there that you could do that with. I heard Kayvon Thibodeau might be available. How would you like to have Kayvon Thibodeau? That was the big thing between him and Hutchinson. Which one should we take? Could you imagine having both of them? Now, his production probably wouldn't be replacing Hutchinson's as much as it would be Barnes. Kayvon Thibodeau plays the Barnes role. You need him to be able to drop back in the coverage. that kind of guy. That would be different. That would be different. But no. Is Dan Campbell playing with our emotions? Was he just clowning David Burkett? Says you get. I don't think he was. I don't think he was. Maybe we do make a lower tier move. Would you rather have one big badass, or would you rather them get 2 guys? Maybe it's 2 mid-tier guys, a day 2 and a day 3 pick for, Granderson and Zadarius Smith. Maybe it's something like that. What would you like to see? Let's see what we got in here. Dan Campbell always does that when someone doesn't accept the first answer. It was a troll. Yeah. I want Landry and Key for a 3rd and 5th round in Houston. You moved too early. You might have to give up more. I think by being patient, you'll get them for less, especially if the team wants to get rid of them. Yeah, they're probably thinking, we beat that ass so bad on Sunday that Tennessee might be just looking to reboot right now. I heard them already talk about firing their coach. I think Aziz Ajuliari is 4 years old and Landry's 28. I'll take that. Yeah, Brad Holmes, Jeremy. You know that he'd be working trying to do 2 things at the same time. We don't want just this year. We want this year and next year. Pascal, 2 first rounders because they're late in the draft. You might as well. For Max Crosby, that's my take. Man, Max Crosby, Davis came out. The owner came out and said, listen, it ain't happening. You ain't getting them before. You ain't getting them after. And really, if you're going to rebuild that franchise, let's be real about it. You want Max Crosby in L.A. I mean, I would love Max Crosby. I had a whole show last week where we talked about it, but I just don't think it's happening. I don't think there's no way. But isn't Hendrickson on the last year of his contract and wants a huge payday? Well, then maybe he is a rental, Jeremy. Maybe that's what he is. He is a rental. That makes him worth less. That means we might be able to get him for a lower pick. We won't have to spend a first-round pick on him then. And I'm sure that Hendrickson wouldn't care. He'll come here and then play the field. That might actually work out better for us, Jeremy, because we have the cap space for it. With the passion of our fan base, I don't see the coach leading us on like that. I expect a signing by the end of the week. Nothing huge, just a key role player. That's probably what it is. Both have remaining years on their contract. Mark Davis emailed all 32 teams because Crosby is the foundation to build around. Yeah, I'm doubting that one. I mean, I may not buy, a player going on there and giving you a bunch of players speak. Oh yeah, I'm a lifer. I want to be here. It's not in my control. All that type of BS. I don't believe that. But when the owner emails everybody and says, listen, stop talking about it. It ain't happening. You ain't getting Max. You ain't getting Max. And they would be stupid to do it. They would be stupid to do it, honestly. The thing that to understand with all of this, guys, like if there's anybody out there, and let me help you with this. If there's anybody that's out there that says price should be put into this scenario into getting a player, and I'm only talking about the elite ones. I'm talking like the Crosbys, the Garretts, and really those are the only two players in this category, I think, that franchise altering. And I'm not even going to say Crosby anymore, just Garrett. The idea that Cleveland or Raiders would trade them, first of all, for 3 first-round, 4 first-round picks, for whatever amount, the idea that they would trade those players is stupid for that franchise. When you have a player like Crosby and Garrett, that's it. You found a diamond in the rough. Because you could have 20 first-round picks and not find a Myles Garrett. You could pick a defensive end in the first round every year for 20 years and not find Myles Garrett. So if Cleveland's willing to get rid of Myles Garrett and it costs you 3 first-round picks, I mean, it's a no-brainer. You could Brad Holmes could pick a defensive end for the next 3 years, and you're not going to find a generational player like Myles Garrett in the first round. So if they're willing to give you one and only charge your 3 first-round picks, then you go do it. You go do it if it's available. Price shouldn't be in the way of any one of those types of players. Now, I don't think Hendrickson's that, but I think Hendrickson is the next best thing. And knowing what Jeremy just said about his contract would actually make him cheaper. You might be able to get him for a 2nd-round pick, or maybe even a day 3 pick. You don't know. I mean, they're trying to get out of the contracts. They're trying to get value out of players that probably won't be signing there next year. So, if you can get value out of your last guy and you get a 3rd, 4th-round pick, 3rd-round pick maybe for not this year. We don't have one this year, but, a 2026 3rd-round pick, get it done. But if you have a chance to get a guy like Garrett, you pay whatever. Max is the same way. Bargain Basement Brad is doing what Bargain Basement Brad does. Yeah. There comes a point though, Scotty, where I think Bargain Basement Brad understands the ebb and flow of where his franchise is. I understand being Bargain Basement Brad on the second year of a rebuild, and last year, be bargain basement Brad, because I need those draft picks because I still got to fill my secondary out. I got to get the players that I need, right? There's still a lot of moves that need to be made. I'm bargain basement Brad, but there's a tipping point where you come out of bargain basement where you're like, okay, my foundation is filled. I mean, we've been through it 100 times on here, and it comes down to what you have, and the thing is he's done well. Kudos to Brad. Yay, Brad. You killed it. And now we have, the active roster, these 51 people here. You have 41 people on this for 2025. Like, you got 32 guys. You have 32 guys, and most of those that are on the team in 2026, these guys are still under contract. There comes a point in time where there's a hard time making a team or be very far away from an opportunity. And that's where using your draft capital to bring in proven guys, that's where it becomes an advantage, because we don't have holes on the roster. I mean, you can argue that we have holes on the with the PFF, right? That we have holes with the loss of Hutchinson, right? But they proved in this last game that they can get the pressures. They can still play defense. You're not going to get the 13 pressures out of one guy and 8 sacks. That's just not what you're going to get. But what you can do is you can shift your defense to play differently, because now, where are the best players? Okay, there's no Hutchinson anymore. Where are the best players now? Where are the best players on the Lions team? Right now, the best players are in the secondary, in my opinion. Or you could argue the linebacker core. And the defensive line's good, but you don't have the standout players. You got Levi Onwuzurike's playing his ass off, but he plays defensive tackle. That's just an unsexy, you're just not, that's not going to show up on a stat line for, Levi or DJ Reader. Those guys affect the game from the middle to make things easier for the back end. But now they're going to shift the defense around, especially if they don't get somebody. They're going to shift the defense around getting the quarterback to throw the ball so we can intercept it. So it just depends on how you want to play. Paul Jones says bargain basement. Maybe dude should be a Browns fan. They love spending money. I meant he's looking for the best deal. He is. If it doesn't make sense, he ain't going to do it. Hendrickson and Smith have a nice ring to it. And maybe it is 2 players. What would you rather see it be? Because you're going to have to spend to get. But who would you like to see it be if they're going to go do it? That giddy dance and hop around and all that by Dan Campbell. I mean, I hope that he didn't fool us. I hope he wasn't trolling us, because that would be a mean troll, because the fans do see that. And I don't want to be trolled, I don't want to be trolled by my own head coach. So, definitely misspelled his name. I would probably mispronounce his name right here. The Giants guy. Definitely misspelled his name, but I'm not even going to try to say it because I know that I would mispronounce the name. Why didn't the Raiders keep Devontae Adams? He's just as important to the offense. Max is to the defense. Just a question. Devontae Adams was crying. You know, he was doing, I mean, you got the disgruntled guys that are willing to go to Twitter and say, I want to leave. I went and requested a trade, got him out of there. You know, I would have a hard time wanting people around that didn't want to be there. You know, but who knows? Who knows? Don't be surprised if Holmes doesn't make a deal for an edge and just decides to roll with what we have for the rest of the year. That is like following suit to what he's usually done. So really any move that he's going to make, Mark, is a surprise, right? I mean, from what we've seen Brad Holmes do, is we've seen Brad Holmes not do anything, that because we build through the draft, you know, it's just, it is what it is. It's true. He doesn't make it. So what we're asking Holmes to do, if we're going to say, hey, we want you to go all in on a Super Bowl, is to do something that he's not really done. And me, go even a little bit further and give you some data behind why it might be the time for him to do that. And I think it is a good time for him to be able to. I'm just saying that he could be, he has an opportunity to be able to do that, and it isn't going to hurt the team long term. I mean, especially if you get a guy that is an impact player that fits within the salary cap over the next 3 years, because they have, you know, 20 plus million in each year that they're going to be able to deal with it, and whatever it expands to, they'll be there. So the Crosby hop, man, you guys are on that one right there. I mean, as much as I love the draft and draft picks, we have built up a roster, and Brad is great at finding talent in the draft. So we really don't need first rounders now. And that's for me. I agree with that. I mean, but the thing is, you can keep the picks too. I mean, I'm good with either way, however they do it, because I can provide you evidence on both. But you know, I could provide evidence right now. We just did with, you know, what they've done, at least with PFF, and to know that the players that they brought up, the practice squad guys, are some of the best performing guys that played. You know, for 2 weeks in a row, they were able to get production. But, you know, you can, I guess you can argue the, you know, that, you know, you're doing the blitzing thing. You got lucky in week 1, and this week it was just the Titans. But, you know, progression seems to work for this team. And you are going to get guys back. You know, they've proven that they can win. They've proven they can win. I don't know. Can they beat Green Bay? Green Bay's a really good team. They, you know, they beat Minnesota without them. So, I mean, can they beat Green Bay without Aiden Hutchinson? I don't know. I think our team's really good. I think we got a defense that can hold Green Bay under 31 points. And I don't think that their defense is good enough to hold us under 40 if we decide that we want to score 40. So I don't know. Would you say here, Ken, We found out last year through our defense that cannot continue to outscore. Our offense cannot continue to outscore someone. We need defense, and right now we're lacking a sack master. We don't need another San Francisco game. We're a lot better, even without Hutchinson right now. Our team right now on defense is better than it was last year. And because last year our starting cornerback in that defensive or that NFC championship was Kendall Vildor and Kirby and Jerry Jacobs. And Cam Sutton. So, and our back end right now is light years better than that was last year. So, as of right now, it is even without Hutchinson, it's a better defense than it was last year, in my opinion. In Brad, we trust. You like that? Giants are ready to sell. Gimme Aziz. You like that? Let's go. Ken says, I think the game later in the season will show, especially against the Bills and the 49ers. Of their QBs have a lot of time to throw the ball. It won't be good for us. Well, we got pressures. We got 17 pressures in that last game. I guess I didn't realize we got that many pressures, but defensive line just needs to get reps and get better. Cam Sutton pissed me off weekly. Yeah, our secondary, I mean, when Brad Holmes goes after something, he goes after it, you know. It's like, what, we need a cornerback? All right, trade for Carlton Davis, bring in Amik Robertson, draft a cornerback in the first and second round. Yeah. Move Brian Branch back to a place that he can make even more plays. So, yeah, we went from having a very, very weak secondary to let's just watch this secondary get better by the week. Watch these guys get better by the week. It's fun. It's actually fun watching those guys because they haven't peaked yet. You know, one of the things is like, we got to be playing our best football, and it's like, be sure not to peak early. The Lions ain't even close to peaking yet. I mean, there's still problems all over that game that they won 52-14. There's plenty of holes on that game where you can get better. And they still won 52-14. I mean, let that sink in. That idea. We're not there yet. I like it. I'm a fat man. I like it, fat man. Did we give picks for Robertson and David? We gave a third round pick. A third round pick for Davis, and Robertson was a free agent. So Robertson on like a two-year, $8 million deal. No fat shaming on Planet Fitness. So I can get myself. You've been watching the Lions Villain Report. I'm your host, Russell Wayne. Each and every 10 a.m. Hit that like button if you want to support the network. We're the UDFA of sports podcasting. We're broadcasting live into the Lions Villain Squad Facebook page. Thank you to the 56,000 people. Why have billions when we can have thousands? Broadcasting live into YouTube at Villain Squad. Brought to you by NFL Shop. Use the link in the comments. Get yourself up to 50% off that black Jahmyr Gibbs jersey right there. It's faith, family, then football. Faith, family, and then football. In that order, we use football to spend time with our family and to make memories happen. We don't let football use us. And may the Lord bless you. May the Lord keep you. May the Lord shine his face upon you until we meet again tomorrow. God bless. Peace out.
Hey, yo, the lies so that you never make it. Hopeless, so it seems. Eyes closed, hands open wide to embrace your dreams. Sometimes you gotta take a loss just to get the win. Like lots of sin was popping in like oxygen when boxes wet. Focus on the mental, never lose like a smooth instrumental. Better choose on the move in a pinto. Choose when I get to, never lose smooth on the move, but it's simple. Never give up and we running it, maybe. We just keep winning, we conquering daily. Envision that pay me, it's never the sway me. Indigenous, maybe we winning this crazy. Your opportunity, your opportunity, your opportunity, it's your opportunity, your opportunity, your opportunity, your opportunity, it's your opportunity, your opportunity, your opportunity, your opportunity.